All right, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays, coming to you live this Sunday evening, New York and California time, and Monday morning, of course, here in Dubai. Dubai has been great. Keep an eye on my Instagram, guys. Follow me on Instagram. That's where I do like personal stories and stuff. I treat my Instagram for personal and Twitter and YouTube for work-related stuff, which is trading Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts. I happen to have my website open. Those of you interested in learning how to trade so you don't have to watch other YouTubers and follow them, please check out the Tone Vays educational section, tonevays.com, on-demand videos. Okay, I don't need that. Oh, my computer restarted. I hate that. Okay, weekly chart. Since it's a new week, we started a brand new candle. Let's go ahead and look at the oscillators real quick. The RSI is not in the best of positions. This is generally a look of the RSI that is calling for some more downside. We will, of course, keep that in mind. The MACD is still fully bullish, but the MACD is usually very late to the trend direction party. And the CMF, while it is going down, is certainly still very, very positive. Very positive. As you can see, the CMF was positive and going down pretty badly into the end of 2017. But 2017 was the greatest year for Bitcoin that we had in the last, 5 years. So the CMF still looks very, very good. What I have not looked at in a long time is stop and reverse points, like the Lucid SARS. I was going to make my own, but I totally, forgot to start that project. Haven't looked at that in forever. I had some ideas on how to make the Lucid SARS more efficient, but those ideas were over a year old, and I hope I still remember those ideas because I didn't write them down. As you can see from the Lucid SARS, we have been in a bull market, wow, since May 4th of 2020, and an entire year on a weekly scale without much concern. And we can probably make it, to like a full year without flipping the SAR. That is absolutely incredible. Look how close we came to flipping the SAR the week of January 25th. That would have kind of sucked because SAR would have been way up there and you'd still be not in a bullish position, but we did not flip the SAR. So this is really, really cool. Man, I really want to find those thoughts that I had. I hope I wrote them down to one of my developers in a message. Anyway, let's look at the weekly price action. The candle closed right at the border of being bullish. So you can see that the weekly close was at $51,000, about $35 shy of $51,000. That is great. That's pretty good. That makes me bullish going into the week. This arrow is still on pace for the third consecutive MRI top. As long as we hold the current area above 50,000, we will, continue printing positive numbers. The challenge is going to be next week, but next week is still 7 days away. And we will talk about that as we get closer, because next week we will need to close at a brand new all-time high. And if we can do that, then I do believe we will be in the mid 70,000s on the third consecutive MRI top. And that's where I would consider taking some significant profit. But we got 3 weeks to go to get there, and let's see how it all works out. Right now, the weekly chart going into this week for me is bullish. Daily chart, probably the most important chart of them all, is the daily chart. As you can see, we did print a green star. We did close above the moving average. These are two requirements I needed to be bullish. There's one more requirement that I need. And today is the make or break requirement. I need a full candle above the moving average. So that means that today, I mean, I'm okay with that little tiny wick slightly being below the moving average, but that's about it. As you can see, my green line right here is sitting at 50,350 bucks. I can make this line, you know, more exact by putting it right here, and that puts this line at 50,000. I'll just go to the coordinates. 50,400. Let's round up. So 50,400 is my line in the sand. If we could hold 50,400, and ideally, I really want to see this candle be a positive candle. I want this to be a bullish candle. I would love for today to close above 51,000, but that might be asking a little too much. But as long as this candle closes above 50,000, let's say $500, I become very, very bullish on the daily scale. In fact, I would consider going 100% into GBTC if that is to happen. Now, as you can see, when GBTC opens on Monday, I'm very curious. I'm not exactly sure how GBTC has dividends or earnings. Okay, didn't know it had earnings, but I guess it does. But you can see how the premium is still negative. And I expect that premium to completely go away as negative and go back into positive once we start approaching new all-time highs. Once we get, you know, to that 52, 53 range, I probably need to do a full video just on GBTC premium and how it works. It's pure speculative supply and demand. At the moment, there's more people selling GBTC than there are buyers. So the premium goes into negative territory. Over here, there is more buyers of GBTC than there are sellers. So the premium goes into positive territory. You got to think of GBTC as a restricted supply of an asset. So, for example, India is very big on gold, but the government of India puts a restriction on gold entering the country. So all of a sudden, new gold or leaving the country. So all of a sudden, new gold can't come into India or leave India. Let's assume there's no black market. Let's assume black market is incapable of adding gold to India or removing gold from India. So now India has a fraction of the world's gold. Let's say India has 10% of all the world's gold. I think that's on the high side, maybe. Let's even say 5%. India has 5% of the world's gold. And people in India that want gold are bidding on this 5% chunk. And if there's huge demand for gold, gold could be trading 20% above the spot price of gold around the world. But then, you know, some kind of depression hits and everyone in India, you know, can't afford gold anymore, and people need to sell their gold in order to feed their family. And suddenly everyone in India is selling gold, and the premium over the spot price of gold now falls to -10 or -20%, because by not being able to sell that gold outside of India, you are forced to sell it to people in India. And if no one has enough demand for gold in India, you have to sell that gold at a discount. That is exactly how GBTC works. GBTC is its own little bubble of Bitcoin liquidity. And it's a small bubble of Bitcoin liquidity. It's probably maybe 10%, 5-10% of Bitcoin in circulation on, if you add Kraken and Coinbase and all these other exchanges. A GBTC might represent 3 or 5% of that liquidity, but it's its own standalone bubble. It doesn't have liquidation across other exchanges. So if this little bubble has a lot of demand for that product, premium is positive. If that little bubble has selling pressure, premium is going to be negative. So that's my explanation. I know people have been asking for it. The daily chart, I really want to see the funding rate. And look, the funding rate's starting to go positive. That's a little unfortunate. I would have loved to see a full reset, something like this. I would have loved to see one of these ticks. You see, this tick is very, very important. This is the only tick since here, since November of last year. We only had one tick where you see both lines, the blue and the orange. I always forget which line represents what. And I know this isn't the most liquid exchange anymore. I need to get a different ticker here. But one of these lines represents contango versus backwardation. It's the difference in price between the perpetual and the nearest future, while the other line represents the funding rate. I believe the blue is the funding rate. And but I do forget which line is which. But I love seeing both of them reset. When both of them reset, it really means that more upside is coming. Even if it only resets for 1 day, and it never fully reset. It only reset on one of the lines, not both. The RSI is a no man's land, not interesting. The MACD, I would love to see the MACD cross over into the positive territory. The MACD has been very clean. As you can see, if I compare the MACD, it crossed over. Oh man, let me see the dates. What do we got here? We got December 15, January 11, February 2. So December 15. Oh, wow, right there. Beautiful. Look at that. The MACD crosses over. Beautiful trade. What was the other one? Man, too early for me. Right there, January 12th or something like that. So right here, again, the MACD beautifully got you out, but the MRI did a much better job of getting you out. And the February 2nd, I believe it was. Right there. Awesome. Beautiful entry back in just as you're crossing the moving average. So the MACD has been, oh, and there was one more sell on the MACD right there. February 23rd. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Did better than the MRI, obviously. So the MACD has been very, very good. So hang in there, wait a couple of days, and the MACD could cross over. The MACD has been the cleanest trade here, gotten you out November 25th too. The MACD has been great. The CMF is still bullish, that's good. And volume is dropping hard, so I don't really know what that means though. Doesn't mean much to me. I like this little bounce. I would love to see if we close today above 51, I would be considering just going 100% back into GBTC. I have no problem with that. All right, this video is now lasting a little too long. I need to wrap this up. Short-term look, 1 hour chart. Not interesting on the 1 hour. Or about the 4 hour? I like the 4 hours above my line right here. So the 4 hour is bullish to me. I like this green arrow. We got one more hurdle right here. Let's get above the resistance line on the 4 hour. We have to close above it, and things could be very, very good. Looking good. All right, I talked about GBTC. I believe gold started trading. So did the S&P Futures. I am still bearish on gold, as you can see right here. We have an MRI buy though. You're right. I'm not bearish on gold anymore. I'm generally bearish on gold based on posture, but I would actually consider a gold trade here. You had the weekly MRI buy and the daily is coming up. And I'm curious what the cash gold market looks like. I don't want to change that ticker. The S&P is looking okay. And oh yeah, the Cardano shitcoin. Oh, the Bcash. Can I finally stop looking at this shitcoin? Did we close below 1% of Bitcoin's value? And we did not. We missed it by 0.0006. Holy shit. That is a brand new all-time low close, but unfortunately, it was not low enough. It missed it by like half of a percent. So we wait a few more days for this disaster to put us out of our misery. And this is the NASDAQ. It's looking okay. The Cardano shitcoin could be coming up on a buy. I'll need to get back to this. Oh, it's on a weekly. Is this on a weekly buy? No, it's on a weekly sell. That's right. That was on a weekly sell. And real quick, I want to look at gold cash market. I want to see if there it is. There it is. Gold is on a MRI buy on the cash market. It is 1 day from an MRI buy on the futures market. And it's on a weekly MRI buy on the cash market as well. I don't see W's here. That could also be my indicator, not. No, it should be displaying them. So let me see the weekly chart. This is the weekly chart. Sorry, that's the weekly buy. Let's look at the daily. That was the weekly MRI buy. I want to see the daily MRI buy. Nope, it's also one candle away. So gold could be bottoming right here. I kind of like it. I like gold bottoming. And I want to look at the dollar, and then we're going to call it a day. Ooh, the dollar is rising. I'm a little bit surprised here, but look, it's coming up to a daily MRI sell. So, and it's on a monthly MRI. It's been on a monthly MRI buy, weekly MRI buy, but it's coming up on a daily MRI sell in 2 days. So the weekly is looking strong, but I believe that the dollar is going to turn and start to go down very, very soon. Someone's asking me to look at the CME futures on Bitcoin. Yeah, I can do that. Is it BTC? Is it BC1? What's the ticker? Bitcoin futures. BTC1. BTC perpetual. Okay, there it is. So the weekly chart of the futures, it's looking pretty bullish. Or about the daily. It's looking pretty bullish to me. I like it. Beautiful top right there on the MRI as well. Just missed the MRI top here, unfortunately. All right, that's it for me, guys. Hey, please check out my on-demand videos if you're looking to learn how to trade. I have a free tutorial in Learn Trading. And those interested in the MRI, which is one of my favorite indicators to use, the access to that, you go through the MRI indicator page. Slightly longer video than I wanted, but it is Sunday night. I didn't do any Q&A. Private Q&A could be coming. People are asking why Dubai. Dubai did shut down pretty heavily, but Dubai is also not, you know, it's a pretty restrictive country anyway. Well, UAE. But it's freedom here, freedom-ish here now. At least restaurants are open now. You know, I could make my ultimate decisions later, but there are other countries I plan to go to. There's other reasons why I'm in Dubai, and I'll be here for a little while. All right, guys. Talk to you all on the next one. Thank you for watching. And I'll try to do another video tonight. If you speak Russian, I will be on with Forklog probably around 10 a.m. Eastern time when you guys wake up in New York. And I will be doing a stream in Russian with Forklog.